Hi guys, it's That Artist 101. I am here for my first video, which a lot of you requested, which was a tutorial on how to make the infamous Alastor staff. Yes, I'm filming with my phone backwards, don't ask. I'm not going to be disclosing my name, but I am going to be disclosing, if you guys are wondering, that I go by she, her pronouns, and I am still in school. I'm not going to specify which type or grade, but I'm still gonna say that just so you guys have a bit of context. So a lot of you were asking what I used for this project, and it was a quick, simple $10 Walmart trip because this was a very finalized last second project. And so I'm just gonna be pulling out a few of the things I used to kind of give you guys an idea. So there were these 2 packs of these small little cones right here. I don't know if you guys can see, that's a lot better. That there were at Walmart. This is all from Walmart. And I bought 1 pack of those. There was this really big cylinder that I didn't end up using, but I bought just in case. So that'll definitely deduct from the overall cost of the project if you choose not to buy it. There was, which I don't have here with me, there was a giant, like a bigger one of these cones, and I think it was a set of 2, I believe, that there was at the Walmart, and I bought that as well. And then there were these little wooden, almost like circular flat pieces, which I used for the base that I put at the top, which the microphone sits on. So those come in, I think, a pack of 6, but I'm not entirely sure. And then there was the long wooden dowel. Let me bring back the actual staff here. This super long wooden dowel. And that I just found in the little section where they have this, like, a bunch of wooden dowels, obviously. Forgive me, this is the first time I'm ever doing something like this. And so I picked out the longest one of those, and I decided to do that. So, the materials you're going to need for this actual whole entire project is the whole Walmart spiel that I just told you guys about, which is the long stick, the pieces of foam, the pieces of foam which include the 2 small cones and the 2 big, larger cones. You're going to need a ton of hot glue because this foam is really hard and annoying to paint, and so I had to put an entire layer of hot glue over the foam in order to be able to get a smooth layer of paint, which still doesn't look the best, but you guys are asking how to make this specific staff, so I'm going to disclose that. I used, so for me, it's because I have a few of these things at home, but I used a black paint marker to paint the entire wooden dowel. Yes, it took me forever, as well as if you guys have seen part 2 of this staff making on YouTube Shorts, for the eye on the microphone, and I used a red Posca to do the eye itself. For the microphone piece, I used the red Posca as well, and then for the little base, kind of the little circle thing here, I used a darker paint, like a red paint, which I mixed on the spot. So it would help if you got another color of red paint. You could get 2 different colors of paint. You don't have to use paint markers necessarily, but that's what I used for my project. So I'm going to explain to you step by step the directions on how to do this. I'm not going to rebuy everything, and I'm not going to make a second staff, but I'm just going to explain kind of how I did it, and hope that that helps. So you're going to take the long wooden dowel, and yes, before I get into this, finally, I will link all the products from Walmart in the description. I don't know, I've never done this before. I'll link them somewhere so that you guys can find them. So you're gonna take the long wooden dowel, and you're gonna take one of your smaller cones, and from the smaller cones, you're also gonna need a pair of scissors, obviously. You're gonna take the smaller cone, and see how like the top of this is kind of cut off? You're gonna snip off the smallest piece of the edge. As there used to be a small little like excess thing here, but it's really up to you how long you want the little almost balancer at the bottom of the staff that leads up to the circle to be. It's completely up to you. So I just cut off around, I'd say 1/2 inch from this little circular triangular cube thing of foam. And I cut that, and that's what makes up, forgive me because I broke this staff a few times, this little piece here, this little hot glued thing that comes right before the big attached dowel. I'm videoing this backwards, so if it's easier for you to see this way, let's see how we do this. I'm filming in a very odd spot. This little piece here, and that's made of foam, which is coated in hot glue and then painted in the same red as the balancer thing here. So that little piece just comes from this original foam cone. It's the tip of it. You can make it as long as you want, as short as you want, but that's the best way to get that little piece there. And so I hot glued that piece to the top of the staff. It's up to you if you want to paint all the pieces before you start the project. I personally think that would be a great idea, but that's not what I did, and so it's completely up to you whether you want to do that or not. But that piece is just painted the same red as the circular piece, if you wanted to know before you paint it. So you will glue on the small piece of foam first, and then you will glue on the circular, I'm going to call it a balancer. I know that's not what it's called. Forgive me, English is not my first language. You're going to you're going to hot glue this onto the dowel and then hot glue that onto the foam. So the piece that took me the longest with this entire staff was either the painting or this really annoying microphone piece up here. This really almond-shaped rounded thing. And so you're going to take one of your big foam cones, and like the largest foam cone that you bought. And you're kind of going to start to scrape, or that's the thing about foam, you're going to have to shape it. And I suggest putting a trash bag under your workplace or a cardboard box, but that's not what I did, and I ended up with a giant mess, which I posted another video about, and you guys have liked it, and I feel really proud of myself. So you're going to take the giant cone, and basically the way you're going to do this is you're going to cut off, let's see if I can do it over here. You're going to keep the bottom piece as flat as possible on the floor, and you're going to kind of draw a little line here just to cut it in half. And I don't know if you have, or if any of you watching this are going to have really sharp scissors and just be able to cut it in one shot, but it took me a while. I had to like dig the scissors into the thing. But if it helps, you can also kind of shape this out this way. And I wouldn't cut directly on the line personally. I would keep a little gap, like a little excess. So instead of cutting like here, I would cut here just to give a little bit of extra room to carve out the foam. And so you're going to cut it in half, and then you're going to have a half of a cone. And you're going to begin to shape this little edge here into this, kind of creating the almond shape of Alastor's foam cone. And forgive me if I'm doing this completely wrong and backwards, but I don't have a fancy camera. I have an iPhone. So you're just going to shape that the way that is, and you're going to begin to carve. You're going to cut this piece off. This piece is going to come off of here, and you're going to round that out on this side as well. So in the end, you're going to kind of try and carve this rounded, piece up here. So it's going to be even on all sides. I suggest carving one side first to kind of understand where you want it to be carved and how much you want to shave off before carving the rest of. I did it in 3 sections. I don't know if you're going to do it in 3 sections. It's completely up to you. This was a very, again, eyeballed project that I didn't spend as much money on as I probably would have if I knew that this was going to be such a viral thing. But I kind of did it in 3 sections to create that rounded effect. And you're going to notice that this kind of dips in as well as it comes closer to the bottom. So again, going back to the actual foam piece, you're going to kind of want to shave down starting here at this little mark. You're gonna kind of shave equally kind of inwards. So all of this is gonna come off and it's gonna really create that rounded, almost kind of like this type of shape. I didn't use this. This is just something that I bought in general. You totally don't have to buy it if you don't think you need it. But they're all from Craft Foam. I assume that's what it's supposed to be called. And they all exist in Walmart, again, for those who were kind of spaced out in the beginning of a video, because I do that a lot. So now that we have this rounded piece, and don't be afraid to pause this video and take a while to carve that out, because that really takes a long time. It took me around 45 minutes to an hour to carve exactly what I wanted, and if I really took the time, I think I would have done it again and made it a lot bigger, because as of right now it's an okay shape, but I don't like the size of it. I think it's just really too small. Hold on. Sorry. But I really just fixed that to be a rounded, carved down here, carved up here, and then fixed the overall shape over here. And so now comes the fun part. You're going to take that piece. Again, if you want to paint it before you put it on, that's probably a great idea. It'll probably get you a lot greater results. You're just going to have to, like, coat the whole entire thing. As you can see, there's some pieces that I forgot to coat. But you're going to coat the whole thing in hot glue, and then you're going to put on a layer of red paint, whether that's Posca marker, paint marker, actual craft paint, which is a great idea. I never really thought of that. Again, this was a homemade project. Sorry. I'm trying to, do this well. So now that you have this red piece, either it's still white like foam or painted, you're going to hot glue it in as much of the center as you possibly can to the top. I don't know if I'm going to be able to angle it the correct way to show you guys, but it's pretty much in the center, maybe inched a bit forward, to kind of make it give it the illusion of a bigger shape. But it's completely up to you whether you guys put it in the complete middle or a bit forward. And this little microphone is a completely separate piece. So that's what I used one of the small cones for. I took the cone and I used the other half, and I kind of just carved this cylinder piece. So with a flat back. Hold on, I'm trying to balance this. Sorry, guys. My YouTube experience is not very high right now. So you're basically going to, I'll use this actually as a guide. Once you have half of it, you're going to kind of mark the shape that you want here and take this little thing here. Obviously, it definitely depends on the size of your other like almond microphone shape thing, I'm going to call it, because I don't have my Alastor staff vocabulary yet. But you're going to kind of make this cylinder. I'm going to make it a bit smaller because mine is a bit smaller. And you're going to cut that out. And because this is going to be flat, because you would have already cut this shape in half, it would have given you this cylinder kind of tube-looking rounded piece. And then you are going to just round out these edges here. I'm using the marker as a pointing tool. I don't know if you guys can see, but you're going to kind of round out this edge, which I didn't do a very good job of here. It seems very like bulky, but you're going to just round out those edges and make sure the back is as flat as possible before you glue it onto here. And then I don't know if you guys can see, but there's a little like just hot glue over here just to fill in any extra gaps that you have, which is a great idea. Then you come really down to painting the entire thing in general. And if this gets enough likes, I'll probably like buy another set of the things and do an entirely new staff. But that probably might not come, so I wouldn't bet on it. But other than painting, there's just this little tiny piece at the bottom, which I took the second triangle. That's why this little top is cut off for my example piece. I took the tip of this triangle and I kind of put it onto the bottom. And so this is almost the same size as what you're gonna want up here. So it's a great idea to kind of use your top one for measurement if you haven't already glued it on. And so you would just take that and you'd paint it red, or you'd glue it on first. The YouTube shorts are also great to refer to in order to understand the steps and the before and after painting. I think that's a great way to just look at it and see it done in real time, instead of my horrible explanation of what's this staff really is. And so you'll paint this pretty much the same red as the eye. And I don't know if you guys can truly see. But the eye is a very different color than the red here because I painted the black and then painted the red. Horrible idea. Paint the red before the black and then just like refine the lines, I guess, is a great way to say it. This is just coated in hot glue. There's absolutely no paint on it. I've gotten requests to paint it gray, but I think I really like it white, and so I'm gonna leave it white. I hope that doesn't offend any of you. My shoes are squeaking on the floor. I'm wearing Nikes right now, so don't judge. So you're gonna paint this a light red, the same light red as the little tip foam at the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see because I can't see what's being filmed with the camera. But after that, you would paint, the whole entire staff black. And since I'm seeing a few holes in the painting of the actual staff, I am going to give you a true demonstration of what it meant to truly paint this whole entire thing, because it took me so long. And I'd say I'm really happy with it. Personally, it was a great experience and a great project, and I'm so honored to see how many of you guys have viewed and liked this thing. Like, 293,000 views is like mental. Like, that's insane. And like 18,000 likes, guys. This is ridiculous. I've never posted a successful YouTube video before. But that's gonna be painted black entirely by either a paint marker, black paint, black Posca, whatever works on wood, truly. This is gonna be painted a darker red to give that illusion of the different color reds. And this was a color that I mixed and made on site. Like, I painted this the day of. And so I kind of just mixed that on the spot. It's not really like something you can be like, oh yeah, that's the color I used. But I mixed a light red with black and gray until I got what I wanted. I would not suggest doing black. I would suggest adding really just gray, because it just makes it darker and easier to like not get too dark. You can add little by little until you get what you want. And then honestly, that's truly it. You have to coat all the pieces of foam you ever use in hot glue and then just attach them on and, paint them whatever color you want. I'm sorry for my stuttering, guys. I am not suited to do this. This was never my dream. But here I am making a YouTube video because people actually requested it. And yeah, I'm seeing so many holes in this red painting right now, but as you can see, my staff isn't perfect, and so no one's expecting your staff to be perfect either. It's totally valid to get mad if the foam isn't carved the exact way you wanted it to be, and it's totally valid to get mad if the red isn't the same red, and I apologize for not thinking of that before. But it's totally valid to get mad at yourself for this staff not being perfect, and I want to tell you that it doesn't have to be. As the creator of this staff, it took me $10 from Walmart. Like, I would totally remake it to make you guys happy, because I look at this staff every day and go, why the heck are people liking this video? Because it is so flawed. And as you guys can see, it looked a lot cleaner in the videos because I had to re-hot glue this whole section, and even I don't have the red paint, and so now it looks really bad. But it broke several times, and so just be careful. Don't hit the foam anywhere hard because it will break. There are like splotches of red paint on my floor, on my wooden floor, because I sometimes use this when I'm, you know, moving around because I like to have fun with it. And, you know, just be careful because the red paint can scrape on walls and floors and things like that. I would suggest probably wearing like something you wouldn't mind getting full of foam because it took forever to get the foam out of my sweater. And if you don't put anything under to guard your carving foam, do expect a mess. But I'm sorry for my rambling. Other than that, you know, the blacks are the same. The reds are 3 different shades except for this red and the red at the bottom of the little balancer thing. But other than that, thank you for watching my first video as That Artist 101. I'm very excited to be doing this. Thank you to those who requested this video, and thank you to all of you for your love and support of this $10 Walmart project. And so this is That Artist 101 signing off of her first video. Goodbye.